You can see our presenters there appearing as well. We will have 5 minutes of introduction and over to Gonzalo, so don't worry. Now, welcome everyone once again. This is our November edition. It's a very interesting meetup today. We have a lot in our agenda. We're going to try to cover everything we can and give enough time for the Q&A as well. With that, we're going to very quickly go to a common advertisement, which is who is the people leading these meetups. You have the Virtual Muleys online group English, that is Manik and Sandeep in the Americas. You have Royston in APAC, and myself here based in London, actually, controlling the ones in EMEA. Very quick Easter egg there in the bottom right. I was there when they released Garen 10 years ago. If anyone is watching Arcane series, that's related to it, or pop culture reference as always. Now, with the kind reminders, 3 things to keep in mind. Training.mulesoft.com, help.learn.mulesoft.com. One for anything that you want from the training Mulesoft team. And the second one for any queries that you have around the vouchers. Very important. The other 2 links are related to the help.mulesoft.com. That is the support portal, the articles, the forum, anything that you want to ask, you can do it so. I also recommend Stack Overflow when you're thinking about Mule runtime questions or data whip. It is a special place for it because our engineering team is actually actively looking at it. With that said, the guidelines for today, very quickly, you can pop your questions in the chat. Anyone in the community can try to answer. The remaining questions will be asked in your behalf by myself at the end of the session, each session, and the recording will be shared as always in the Meetups page. You can see it in the Virtual Muleys YouTube channel. Again, not advertisement, but you can go to YouTube, type Virtual Muleys in there, and you will find all the recordings from our sessions. Very quickly on the announcements today, going to make it short. We have, remember, the metrics toolkit is not new, the announcement, but you do have the videos that are going to help you training. In less than 20 minutes, you can become an expert, and probably in less than 2 hours, you can actually deploy in your organization. If you want to give that extra layer of visibility for all your Mule environment, this is a great tool, and we always suggest you to try it. Open source as well, no extra cost. The second one is related to Transit Gateway. Remember, it was released last month. For anyone related to network, this is a very important release. We will make your life easier and our support team life easier as well. Keep it in mind. If you haven't seen it, you can find the documentation online in the Mulesoft official page. Another release related to API functional monitoring. It's not the majority of our customers, but it's a functionality that is there for you. It's free. It's out of cost. It comes with the, I think, Platinum and Titanium subscriptions, and you can now create and edit your BAT resource, black box automation testing source, through the code editor. You can also copy the tests that you already have, and you can run them even before saving them so that you can try different tests to see if they work or not. Also, they added some monitoring view capabilities, so you will get more information about those testings that you're running. Moving on, and last update for today, the Mulesoft Transfer 2021. It's happening only in APAC and AMER. It's not happening in EMEA, but there's one special session that I wanted to highlight. Of course, the 4 of them are important, but the one for me that is especially relevant is the Universal API Management. So I invite you to join the Mulesoft Transfer 2021 and ask all the questions you're holding back on API management with Mulesoft, on Anypoint Service Mesh that you may have, on anything that is related to API monitoring of Mule and non-Mule APIs. That is a very important release, and I recommend you highly that you attend. With that said, we finish our introduction short today, as we have 4 speakers, 4 Muleys, and very briefly, I'm going to go over each of them. So Gonzalo will open up with the first session on sustainability. Also with Philip. Gonzalo is one of our key solution engineers based in Zurich. He speaks German, English, Spanish. He also has a hidden past with more than 7 years of SAP, including a very senior role in cybersecurity as a cybersecurity consultant. Then I will jump in and make a very short, brief session on platform APIs in Postman, and Amir will be taking us through the REST spreadsheet. What is that about? You will learn it soon. And Amir is also known as the modern API activist, also an excellent solution engineer based in Zurich, and has a hidden past 10 years of working in HP as a solution architect. And finally, we're really closing with the for any DevOps that are joining today, Anypoint Provider is a session done by Ivan, part of our professional services based in London. He's actually has worked with one of the biggest Mulesoft customer and the most challenging customer I work with. He's been there for more than 2 years and he survived. He's an excellent professional, and today he's going to show you what is automation about. Okay, with that said, let's start with Gonzalo, and I will turn off my camera and let the stage to you, Gonzalo. Let's stop presenting the screen.
Thank you very much, Angel. I will share my screen then. Please let me know when you can see something.
We can see you. We can hear you well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Well, then, thank you very much for joining today, and thank you, Angel, for setting another great meetup. The idea for our session is to share, for starters, the view or our view on sustainability and how Mulesoft can support sustainable approach in companies and integration. And we came with an idea of creating some challenges or some kind of a hackathon where you, as part of the community, can put hands on and start thinking about sustainability challenges with the Mulesoft lens on. And as I said, I'm going to start with the Mulesoft vision, but I'm going to first introduce you. Who are we, or how this all started happening at Mulesoft? And it all was triggered by Fiona and Therese. Probably you have seen Therese in a fantastic video she presented on sustainable engineering in one of the previous meetups. And if you haven't, just go ahead and watch it because it's fantastic. So then both Fiona and Therese, they kick it off at Mulesoft and the vision on sustainability. They created the point of view and have put a fantastic work together that I am very happy to be part of that team and learn from there every day. Then Philip and myself will be presenting today our vision. Philip, solution engineer out of Germany. Sorry, solution engineer is me. Philip is the client architect. And we will be, for starting, showing the vision. And the vision starts with a clear statement that we got out of a McKinsey report. It says sustainability action is becoming imperative and more urgent. It is the number one risk to company growth. And sustainable growth, it comes with technology and using it right. But when we see sustainability, and I think this is a concern for companies and a concern for businesses, right? When we think about sustainability and when we think about it at scale, it is undeniable that it's unavoidable to think about data integration and process integration. When we think about the circular economy, starting from design, you have to keep in mind take in consideration sustainable materials, sustainable supply chain. In production, sustainable manufacturing, operations, the marketing part, sustainable use when the product is used, and finally, recycling and reuse it. And for all that, whether it's for the operational part or for the analytical part, we need the data to be exposed, to be consumed, to be available. Same as those processes to be working all together. And currently, companies are facing a lot of those issues: operational efficiency, supply chain efficiency, circular economy, single carbon view, new sustainable business model, ESG reporting. We see more and more that companies would love to do this, and they have all of these words in their reports, in their 2030 views, and so on, and none of them is able to do it. And one of the key reasons why they're not able to actually bring ESG reporting properly, or have a single carbon view, is because they don't know where the data is, they don't know how to expose the data, they don't know how to consume the data. As in many of the scenarios, this data is scattered through multiple systems that is not available to the key stakeholders to make actual actions on top of that, right? And we believe that with Mulesoft and what we leverage as integration, API management, automation, and API ecosystems, we could support companies in bringing the companies closer to their sustainability goals, making a reality their sustainability goals through proper reporting, proper access to data, proper integration of processes. This is our view on sustainability from the Mulesoft lens. Now, why did we come here today? And is, first of all, to hear from you and to see what you think you could do with Mulesoft in the sustainability area. So we came with two sustainability challenges. One that is more strategic, and it's related to architecture. What project in your company, or what the company that you're working for, they probably have a project related to sustainability that could be already solved with integration, by breaking the silos, by getting data from somewhere, by creating triggering actions or triggering reporting. And the other one is much more related to what Therese presented in her meetup a few months ago, is how can you use Mulesoft in a more sustainable way? How can you fine-tune your Mule apps to consume less resources, any type of resources, whether it's CPU, storage, or memory. I will present the strategic one, and Philip will present the tactical one. And what we want you to do is to come up with ideas for each one of them. Depending, we will have a jury, which are Fiona and Therese, and they will evaluate your ideas, and we will have a winner. Each winner for the winner of each challenge will get a voucher for Mulesoft training. If you want to team up with your colleague, we can get up to teams of 2 people presentations, right? Is it more or less clear? I hope everybody's okay with this. Now let me explain you what is the strategic one about. Okay, think about it this way. We want your knowledge on API-led connectivity to be applied to a sustainability scenario, creating an architecture for a sustainable project, okay? Come up with an idea that will be helpful for your company, and be creative, be visionary. And it's all about creating the architecture. You don't need to come up with the actual technology. You don't need to actually develop anything for this specific scenario. It's more about the idea of the architecture behind, and explain us why do you think this approach will be beneficial for your company? Why actually connecting waste management with waste management companies with your teams would be beneficial for your company? Why, for example, I'll give you an example, why connecting solar irradiance systems with location APIs in a solar panels API, a process API, and reporting it into Sustainability Cloud would help your company. This is an example that we actually came up, in a solution engineer in France came up with it, and combining these, where does the sun heat more the land, and where should I locate my solar panels? I can report into Sustainability Cloud or any other reporting tool to help understand better my management. How is the impact on my sustainability projects? For example, solar panels, and understand what are the benefits of locating solar panels in one location or other. This is just an example, but think about it, anything that is more related to your company. Think about waste management, think about any other scenario. What we need from here is literally an API-led connectivity approach with the ideas that you come up with, an explanation done in a PowerPoint, and why do you see that being beneficial? It would be cool if you record a video and be super creative and explain why are you committed to this idea, and why do you think your company will benefit with implementing such API-led connectivity. And now, Philip, you want to explain number 2?
Yes, absolutely. So challenge number 2, the tactical one. So for those of you guys who really want to get their hands dirty, it's all about checking on your existing flows you already have and looking into them. What if there is any, I don't know, long runners or hardcore CPU utilization, anything which really consumes more power than expected in the long run, and do some optimization in here. So surface any part of the flows which really keep going and going, and consuming CPU power, and try to tackle those and find creative solutions, be it a hardcore data weave script, be it something else, to really improve, in terms of sustainability, improve that workflow. And as an outcome, it would be great to showcase this kind of things. As the example I'll present on the next slide. So what we did here is a very, very simple example. On the top left, you see a flow, which is actually really slow, as it has a nested for each, and it takes quite a while. And on the right side, you see that same, I would say business logic, producing the same output and it does it a lot faster and way more sustainable. I did do just some local checks with the CPU monitoring here on my tiny laptop, but as you can see, the slow and in comparison and the fast, how they differentiate when executing them, and this is just CPU. And now scale this up to, I don't know, 100 flows per 100 transactions per second or whatever, and I think then the vision where this is going is pretty much clear. And again, it's really the same input and it's the same response, but just a different approach taken here. To get you ramped up, and Gonzalo already stated it in the beginning, Therese has made a great blog entry on our webpage where she states what actually can be done. And there's a correlating YouTube video as well. You'll find it in the YouTube search very easy if you just search for Mulesoft and sustainability. It's really a great start, and take it from there. Look into your assets you have created, and keep on inventing and optimizing. What would be great is not only to see this going, but also to distill, and that's on the next slide, to distill what best practices you come up with actually. So general ones, depending on the Mulesoft ecosystem, what you can do on that side. But there's also more to that, like third-party systems, resource utilization. I mean, that's a very straightforward example to query a database only by index column wherever possible, for sure, as it doesn't consume that much power on the database level. But I'm pretty sure you find out more things you can come up with. And it would be great to collect those kind of things. To also in the future present a general best practice for sustainability. So be creative here as well, and nail down anything you find on your journey here in that challenge. All right, that's it for the second one. Now, just to bring this all together. So we have the two challenges. As Gonzalo and I already stated, what we are expecting is for the first one is really a creative story, be it a video, be it something else. The ALC diagram and anything that really supports that case, a story, whatever you come up with. We are absolutely looking forward to seeing it. For the tactical one, it's like almost the slide I presented between the before and after. Any tweaks you did, the best practices you found, just documented in the way you think that's helpful. Yeah, send anything in until December 1st to Gonzalo's email address, and our great jury will come up with a winner until December 8th. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat and we'll answer them. Thanks a lot, guys.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Philippe, Gonzalo. There was one question, Gonzalo.
I saw one from Tony about what are we planning to do with these ideas. At the moment,
correct,
we're not planning to do anything, but learning from you. What are your concerns on sustainability? What do you think that would be useful for your company? Honestly, my push internally will be to get we didn't put the safe harbor, but this is only my push for the company will be to have something like an accelerator for sustainability, when we can create something that could help companies start setting up sustainability scenarios faster, and based on our people that uses the solution on a daily basis, people that use Mulesoft and have their hands on work on a daily basis, and learn from there and how they think Mulesoft could support sustainability scenarios in the company. There is nothing beyond this. Hope that answered your question, Tony.
And in the meanwhile, if anyone has any other questions, this is a good chance to ask. We're going to post both the recording and the slides before tomorrow afternoon, India time. And if you have anything that you want to ask, you can use the direction. You can ask right now or ask through the email later on. We're going to post the resources, the slides, and the recording.
So thank you all very much. We rushed it through. I know that we talked very fast, and as promised, we took less time. Just remember, get creative and send us something. Just play around. It will be fun.
And a part of that, you will get also the vouchers and the nominations during we could create some sort of blog post to nominate you. Exactly. The training voucher.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you both, Gonzalo, Philippe, for the great session. With that, we're going to move on to our next session number 2 that is related to the DevOps tooling. I'm going to actually continue it here very quickly. It will take less than 5 minutes.